Good day, everyone. I am Kurt Melpis Lautingay, and this presentation is Things on Exorcism with Saint Jean Marie Vianney. This is for the course of our philosophy of religion under the guidance of Sir Sircio Kabasagan Chan. So I choose the model figure Saint Jean Vianney, although there are numerous unknown exorcists. So who is he? Talking about the biography, he was born on May 8, 1786 at Dardilly, France, and died on August 4, 1859 in Arcennes, France. He was canonized as saint in May 31, 1925 by Pope Pius XI and also held as patron saint of parish priests. Proceeding to the thesis, exorcism, as seen by many, is something that is done through mystic means and can only be explained with divine intervention alone. Holistic living can be considered as the core of a person and soul, indeed free from the snares of the wicked. It is more than merely medicine or whatever miracles an authority of certain religion body performs. So this notion is borrowed from Martinez 2013. Then, this is getting rid of negative energies does not only relies on a supernatural help, but something that can be done by prevention indeed, as what a modern proverb say. One has to live in an environment that is helpful in achieving spiritual growth and indeed free from the disturbance of whatever distracting phantoms. So, for their supporting points, religion like Christianity has to work alongside with the science at the same time, like a bird with its pair of wings. Without the latter, religion became like a stage event and having no realistic basis or even consultation with natural flow of things. Kissing crucifixes or going to masses in hope for redemption from all evils is even laughable thing. It is not enough to consider these acts as the whole soul works that protect people from numerous catastrophes. So again, this is taken from Martinez 2013. Second, Father Jose Francisco Jose Siquia in his written work Exorcist Volume 2 has quote the Second Plenary Council of the Philippines. It says that people, for example, is sacramentalized but was not evangelized. Meaning to say that even though Christianity is spread through the Philippines, there is still weakness that needed to ponder. Superstition, illogical thinking, worship of carved statues that waste some time and sounds comical, black magic or some sort of trick, and witchcraft fall down to this kind. It is important to take a glance to the foremost teachings of Jesus Christ himself, which is a reliance with behavior, suspension, and recognition of saving hands of the Almighty. This surpasses the rituals that wasted one's time and even treasure. For exorcism not to get challenged, to place one trust to the Master of the universe, and avoiding the false image of devil and its struggle good between good is a great thing to bear in mind. Third, third supporting point. The religious activity of driving out evil creatures, quote unquote, does not hold on emotions at all time. So this is not just about anger. This is not just about fear. It's not just about like a magic trick. So this is one of the misconceptions that emotions cohere with the religion in the times of trouble. There is even a warning of sensation as the basis of exorcism. According to Hunt 2020, personal experience cannot be trusted every time. Our senses can be tricked with ease and cast at false sensation when presented with vague stimuli. For example, a nightmare cannot kill all persons sleeping 100% all over the world. Panic has no place in paranormal investigation. So it's not just about emotion. Being an investigation, it takes reason. Exorcism has to do with prevention. For example, of this is of a woman who allegedly sold her soul to the devil. She burst into a pious and right. She burst this into her husband. Pardon. She burst this into her husband. Yet the latter understand the situation. The woman then revert into a pious and right and thank God who us free from the guilt of a past vice. So analytically, this thinking might root it from the cultural and religious background of a person that is also influenced by the strict notion of heaven and hell. So it's like a fear. So it's not rational at all. That's a problem. So this was taken from our proponent, Thread to 1, 1976. Yet, one has to get rid of objects like with summoning or in casual language like waste on something that causes disease, like of all the stirrag which can be dwelt with microbes bringing cups. Demonic possession can be considered as some sort of disease which resembles with Tourette syndrome or other mental illnesses. Religion has the notion of evil spirits as well as medicine and sciences having the figures such as germs, bacteria, or other microbes. Proceeding to the objections, first objection. Somehow there is still a thick line between science and exorcism. The demoniac possession is something that can be attributed with fraud if not mental illnesses. Taken from Johnson 2017 and Hunt 2020. No one has to find evidence from lies as quoted. It brought the investigation into waste. It brought the investigation into waste, and that thinking has no need to bear this since nature is seeing the happenings in humanity. A spiritual realm cannot be portrayed by merely fallible thought, human thought. A demonstration of a fraudulence is in the following lines. In 1994, Father Alfonso Santorello had a report of possession, a request for exorcism. There was a woman and a young boy. The priest took a wood and covered it in a cloth out from the unseen by the allegedly possessed persons. Now, the object was then tapped into the forehead of the boy. He was said to be hurt and cannot bear the power of the relics, which is actually just a piece of wood covered by a garment. A piece of wood covered by a garment. That's a laughable stuff. So, this is the term for the lady. That's a three in part. The priest did the same thing to the other victim, and the wicked ghost unluckily in the woman's body mocked the priest in the following words: "Are you gonna going to cast me out with that mere word? How come did that woman know?" Father Santorello then considered the woman indeed as a victim, while the young man as playing around. Second objection: somehow rituals are still important as a physical symbols in numerous religions. So according to Burns 2020, Shechita slaughter in Judaism, dance postures in Christianity, and festivities from other religions are not merely accidental in feature, but are also became parts of identity and belief through longer times. Communion, for example, is to commemorate the sharing of Christ in his body and blood as shown in the bread and wine. Likewise, in Christian traditions, Eucharistic masses are not wasting of times as it serves as the exercise for people in attending activities and to experience the divine presence even in the physical ground. Objection number three: somehow there are times when emotion takes its hand in exorcism. Example of this is the anger. The anger is, for example, is for pushing out the malignant sprites from a host. So it's a driving force to take a punch so that there a malignant entity can be drive out. It is commanding the wicked spirits to get rid of themselves from the victim. Exorcism can be tagged as a dramatic performance. So this, according to Lofsted 2016, there are sudden attack, and even those who are not infested are still struck stricken by fear of some effects of the possessed. No one will know if the devil makes use of tools like the person and a knife to frighten the witnesses, including the exorcist. Archbishop John Shahovsky from a Russian Orthodox Church once quoted that an exorcism blended with deep emotion of courage and faith against demon is effective. Let's proceed to the answers and objections. First, spirituality and empirical knowledge are correlated in the sense that these have worked through the ages. Example of this is of the notion of sleep paralysis as a devil's trick with which in science is known to be a cause by stress of hallucination. So like not getting enough sleep or stress from work or other activities. What this try to say is that a certain ignorant signs of violating the natural flow of events in humanity, like getting rest or having enough food, can lead to a more unbearable evil. Sleep paralysis or nightmare is not mere a mystic event, but was proved in different bodies of knowledge. So, like in the science, we have the explanation of stress factors like, again, being tired from numerous activities, that can get enough sleeps, or traumas, so like that. Second, so, so let's proceed to the second answer. Both rites and evangelization work for the fulfillment of one's growth in its spirituality and humanity. Rituals or sacraments to say are those physical movements that is helping a being to have a sense of contact or somewhat communication to a higher realm. Communication to a higher realm. Communion with a host or wafer and baptism in water has what is called a placebo effect, in which one has a sensational encounter with the divine in a form of things that is conventional to one's belief. This can give a person of some sort of relief or healing and is free from the guilt of not accepting a sacraments or rites which help him and her realize the purpose of being in a certain religious group. In a certain religious group. Evangelization, or ways to understand a doctrine, plays an important part for a person to understand why do such rites at the same time. Education for the members of society and bodies of belief help an individual to further question the practice of certain beliefs. One has to know that baptism is not merely putting a small child in a cauldron of water to be sanctified. It represents the humility of Jesus Christ before John the Baptist as a divine teaching in with human as the divine reaching the humanity. So it's like Jesus Christ, the body divine and the baptism of in the water. So it's who humbled down himself. So this was taken from the book of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 13 to 17. This does try to say that baptism, for example, like that, is not merely a part as initiation or some sort of white magic that casts out demons. Remember? But the saint is also something that represents humility as one of the attributes of God and an image of fine humanity. Third, third objection, exorcism is both done with reason and emotion. The former portrays the root of certain infestations. It, the former for tracing the root of certain infestations, and the latter is for boosting up one's stand against malevolent beings. Somehow, there is an area which also needed a control, especially in the emotions, as it can either push or pull to an object, and can also either lead either to success or failure. To say there is an event of mystical, which is merely new to an observer. A Caucasian person, for example, speak Hindi or Urdu for the first time as observed and heard, which can then be resulted of being nursed by an Indian household back then. So this person speak foreign language. Maybe he was brought or nursed by a person with another language spoken. So this was observed by him and then manifested then later in his life, which mistaken as a demoniac possession or a presence of angel. Guys, that's a funny thing to me. So this was taken again from Threat to 1, 1976. The side example was striking to the emotion of the hearer like a gift of thanks or a mistaken demonic possession. So that is a warning. It is neither a demoniac possession or a angelic possession. It is neither just a natural phenomena or some effects. It was supposedly a rare human condition, yet seen as divine or diabolic. There is no need to worry for a sickness in the view of religion due to advancement of medicine in the contemporary years. But it does not count that caution should be left aside. The evil spirit again might be those bad germs that destroys the immune systems of a being like in animals and humans. So regarding with philosophy and emotions, this somewhat reminds us of Aristotle, a right anger at the right time. So so the insights. First insights, religion, spirituality and science are like different fingers in the same hand. These try to protect people from harm and factors that threaten one's existence. Religion has the notion of unseen enemies, fear and weariness in spirituality, and science have the terms like diseases. These methods of inquiry help people in tracing the source of certain problem. Religion might call a demoniac possession as a result of lacking sacraments or evangelization that leads to a person despair which is taken advantage by malevolence. Science may gain track in loss of health like in the loss of healthy habits or poor hygiene which lead to the destitute of a person. The see the ideas are interrelated in the sense and given situations. Insight number insight number two. Evangelization and sacrament played countless roles for a person in his growth within the life of the body and strength of the soul. Like in the case of Saint Jean Vianney, who is disturbed by diabolic entity through his lifetime remains faithful to the teaching of salvation. He is already saved while trapped in the claws of the devil. It means that there is still a chance for a person in despair to have a connection with the divine, either by reading and digesting the gospel or practicing the sacraments for protection and peace of mind. Third insight, to train and master emotions is such a great state of an individual not to be frightened by its own worries and illusions. A feeling like anger is good to drive out that which gives anxiety. Begun, Fian. This anger is not the irrational one. This anger is not the irrational one, but that which can whip some threatening agents in thinking. Correct reasoning is also a good tool to consider. Just because a person speaks in other language does not mean she is possessed by an evil spirit, neither it is an angel's whisper. This is a warning once again. This might have roots to be known of it. It of it this might have roots to be known of. It takes a person to be skeptical and watchful, not to be trembling in fear nor losing away. One has to be simultaneously calm and cautious. One has to be simultaneously calm and cautious. So conclusion. Conclusion. Exorcism is not merely a work of wizardry or something that is a product of fantasy. It is a reminder of being cunning in the face of deception and gentle towards the victims of demonic possession, whether staged or not. The disturbance of the devil is a reflection of a need for protector. Luckily, there were trained persons which guide believers to follow the right path with proper thinking and taming unreasonable desires which can fuel which can fuel ill thoughts. Exorcism is a process of reconciliation as well, because it makes people remind of a boundless goodness in their surrounding despite of the stress or what is called presence of evil. There is a hope of salvation and it reflects to the working knowledge of combating against ill fate. Thank you very much.